second, then make a motion.
We need to make a motion first.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move we accept a 3-year contract with Waste Pro, at a 2-year, 2% increase, in the first year, with them having the right to come back for the next 2 years to request a CPI.
Motion was made by Councilor Jones. Do I have a second?
Second.
Your Honor?
With that motion that you just made, you just accepted the 2017 contract.
That is correct.
Without any amendments, without any additions, without any changes.
That was the motion.
That was the motion.
That was the motion, sir.
So
That was the motion. I'm going to vote against it, but that was the motion.
That's wrong.
I can amend the motion if you'd like for me to.
Well, it's your motion.
I mean, I'm fine with the motion because I'm reading a few of these things like on page 1. But for everybody else who might want to discuss the things that are here.
Okay.
And there are some substantive issues here.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. We can get a second, then we can go to discussion.
There we go. I think I got a second.
Okay.
But now I'm going to amend the motion.
Okay.
That the motion includes the review and acceptance of any additional entries that may have been in the 2012 contract, as agreed to by the council on a previous review, on a subsequent review.
You lost.
In other words, we're going to review it just like we said we were.
Could you
Which
restate the
is what the
motion?
mayor wants me to do. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Well, I just don't, if I don't understand it, I don't know.
You want me to redo the whole thing?
I just would like
Okay,
you
so I
to.
accept a 3-year contract with
Okay.
Waste Pro, with the first year at 2% increase, and the next 2 years that they have the right to come back and request the CPI, we can take it or leave it. And that we review the items that were in the 2012 contract for possible inclusion.
Would I be correct to say that your motion is that you
Accept the rate,
accept it
the terms,
based on
yeah,
being able to come to a negotiated settlement of the terms of the
I think
contract?
that's what I said, not in those exact words.
Mr. Coverland?
I think Ms. Jones is saying that she would like to do a 3-year extension with those amendments. If we do a brand new contract, we need to go through a waiver of our purchasing procedure manual. So an 3-year extension with those terms that Ms. Jones mentioned.
That's an important point. That's a very good legal point. We can do an extension, but if we're doing a new contract, with the extension, we can change the terms, correct? We don't have to operate under the 2017 terms.
We can revise and make some amendments.
Okay.
As Ms. Jones pointed out.
So I'm going to try to restate the motion, and you correct me by all means.
Okay.
Your motion is that we're going to accept a extension of the contract with Waste Pro based upon the revision of the contract language
And the terms that they have presented.
and the terms that is presented and an acceptable contract negotiation being done.
Yes,
All that's in the motion.
that's it.
Do you want to still second that motion? Okay, we have a lengthy motion. We have a very short second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed to the motion signify by saying aye. 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 Nay.
I'll just
Nay.
click on it.
Nay. I don't know how it changed, but it changed.
Mr. Ross changed his mind.
That's okay, Mr. Ross has that
He
right.
does. But you said you didn't know how it changed, that's it.
Huh? No, I know exactly how it changed. Okay,
Now, where are
so
we?
the motion failed.
I guess, but now what?
Well, now we go back to the drawing board and we continue to fight this.
It's your turn.
I cannot make a motion. Somebody else care to make a motion?
Do what?
That's a good question,
Well, we
Counselor.
just agreed to do something, except you changed your mind, so now we are back to where we started. We have no agreement.
We have a motion before us to accept the terms of the extension with contingent upon contract negotiations being successfully done. And two of us earlier said we would like to do the contract negotiations before we accept the contract. Three of us said we would accept them, but then we failed to get a vote because the council pointed out quite correctly that I needed to have a actual vote rather than a survey. So, does someone else want to make a motion that we do it differently?
I move we accept the rate as presented, the terms,
Okay,
for a 3-year contract with a 2% increase and the possibility of CPI at their, I'm gonna go back to my original.
so go ahead.
That's it,
That's it.
that's it.
What about the contract? We're accepting the 2017 terms of the contract.
That's what this one is.
Okay? Did everyone understand the motion? Does anybody wish to second that motion? Asking once? Asking twice? Motion fails from lack of a second.
Somebody else's turn.
Amen.
Well, I hate to ignore
Yes.
this, not knowing what this is.
May I suggest that perhaps we could table this until the council has an opportunity to look at these contracts, see the actual difference, which the mayor already knows the differences.
Wow.
And the mayor is wowing me, but I can handle that. I've been wowed before.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Let me just say that I think it's important that we accept their terms.
Okay. You have
Because
said
they
that.
gave them to us
Yes,
in a public meeting that
Yes.
we asked it for.
yes.
And we essentially, well, your survey, we agreed to that.
Yes, but their vote failed.
I agree. Well, the vote failed with the way the motion was reading.
We need to move on.
So somebody, well, we need to move on, but what do we need to move on to, Mr. Ross? Make a suggestion.
Next item on the agenda.
You can't do that, or we're right back where we started.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mrs. Miller.
So, if I'm hearing correctly, I think that the hang-up is not with the proposal that we've made tonight. The hang-up is what's in some of the language of the actual contract that could be drafted.
That is
So,
my understanding.
however you want to make the motion, in my opinion, that we are perfectly okay if there's a motion to accept my proposal contingent on, the final document. I mean, that's not unheard of at all, and at least it allows us to continue on.
Yes.
I mean, I don't expect, Waste Pro does not have a habit of, not working with their cities. I mean,
Okay.
we would appreciate the vote to be, yes, we'll accept your proposal, Waste Pro, the 2% and the CPI ask. However, contingent upon final approval of the actual document.
Yes.
And I think that's probably going to answer everyone's questions here.
Well, I tried that, but I couldn't
Well,
get a motion.
Well, that's what I said. How much better can I get? I didn't use the word contingent upon.
No, your motion said that you accepted the 2017 without
The
any.
second one said that. The first
Without
one did
any-
not say that.
No,
My first one was exactly that, all except using the word contingent.
I agree.
Yes.
Yes.
With other municipalities that you work, do you provide the contract or do they write the contract?
They write the contract.
I just don't see the contract as a big issue, other than it needs to be written, and we can't, in my opinion, you can't accept a proposal unless you put it contingent upon a successful negotiation of the contract.
I so move.
But we tried that, and we've done that, and we've got a new motion based on the successful negotiation of a contract, and we have a new second. We will try a new vote. Would anybody who is in favor of, and I'm going to try to say it, accepting the conditions of the proposal from Waste Pro as they are presented, contingent upon the acceptance of a contract by both
I don't like the
parties?
contingency.
Sir?
I don't like the contingency language. I like it
I know.
up to that point.
I understand, but if you don't have the contingency, then you have to accept the 2017.
The contingency gives you the ability to negotiate and add back what was in the 2000.
All of the contingency is, by my understanding, is simply the issue of the language change that happened in 2017 from 2012, in which, and I know, Councilor Ross, you have not had the opportunity to look at this stuff that the mayor presented to us. I assume you have not.
I've read it.
It is pretty straightforward changes, but they're significant. And the real changes are in the language of what is the contract wording. And there is a significant difference. I mean, the mayor has pointed them out. He has taken a great deal of time. And I'm not going to try to go through them all, but just to give you, it is item B, the contractor shall publish. In 2012, the contractor shall keep a log. These are just issues. The complaint log submitted to, these are contractual issues, not substantive issues, as I see it. But if you don't put the contingency, then you may as well not even talk about any of these. And this is, the contingency is, I understand it, it's simply to give us the ability to further discuss the language of the contract, not to change the acceptance of the material amount of the contract. Is that your understanding?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Dana.
Yes, I'm aware, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
This is just, we would, of course, like to see what the mayor will send us,
Yeah.
and we will review it, and,
And if we can't come to a contract, then that contingency means we haven't agreed to a contract because we can never finish negotiations substantially to both of our acceptance.
correct.
That's what it means. Yes, Your Honor.
Can I say something?
You can say anything you want, sir.
This is only a suggestion,
Thank you, sir.
since I do not vote.
Thank you, sir.
Motion to accept the 2% increase with no CPI, with agreement to bring CPI up in the future, contingent on new terms of the 2017 contract.
I think that's pretty much what we said, other than
No.
naming the 2017 contract, and you can't, we already have a motion on the floor, we'd have to either withdraw it.
That, what you said, the way that you worded it,
I
was
worded
you.
it like he did it, I just echoed what he said.
Let me finish, please. The way that you said it is you accepted the 2017
No,
contract.
not this time I didn't, Jerry,
The second time she did not. Yes, sir.
I did not the second time.
She made a motion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seconded.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I interpreted her motion and my second to be exactly what you're saying now. Different language, but the same thing. Then she made a motion that there was no second to it, and it failed. A moment ago, when you stated the same thing basically that he just read, she said, so moved, and I said, second.
Right, so we have a motion,
So there should be a motion on the table for what he basically has in the same thing.
Vote on it.
I'm trying to.
So,
I'll be frank, I'm just trying to convince Mr. Ross to.
Just call for a vote.
I have called for a vote a number of times, Your Honor.
It's
Please
okay.
let me
You can
conduct.
vote in
Please.
favor too, Charles, and it
Huh?
will be fine.
Pardon me?
You can vote in favor as well. You can change your mind.
On that worded, yeah.
On that worded, you can
Yes.
change your mind too. It's
You're
okay.
right,
It's
and
okay.
I will, to move this
It's okay.
meeting forward.
Councilman Rogers.
So we've got a motion on the floor, we have a second. All those in favor of accepting the language of the proposal based upon a contract negotiation being acceptable? Is that what the motion is?
Contingent.
Okay, considered. Sir?
That sounds good enough.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody who is